Breaking news, Jaire Alexander is heading to the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year, $6 million deal after the Packers cut him earlier this month. Spent 7 seasons in Green Bay, was a 2-time Pro Bowler, but he's been slowed by injuries. Again, it's a one-year deal, $6 million, and he reunites with his former college teammate at Louisville, Lamar Jackson, who told his GM yesterday to go get Alexander.
Accomplished cornerback available. Have you gotten a chance?
Go get him, Eric. I love all our corners, don't get me wrong, but go get him, Eric.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Jaire about coming here?
Yeah, I hit him up, but you know, you don't know. You never know with Jaire. That's my boy, man.
And now here we are, reunited. Lamar Jackson and Jaire Alexander. Our senior NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, is with us now. JJ, how much did Lamar Jackson have to do with getting this thing done?
Yeah, hearing Lamar yesterday and now knowing what we know today, Lamar knew a little something, right? I think that when he spoke yesterday, he knew that his good friend, his old teammate, the Louisville Cardinal, Jaire Alexander, was very likely about to be en route to Baltimore. And so this deal gets done. I know there's a report out there that it's 1 year, $6 million. I think that's probably going to be high. There's probably some incentives involved in that. No doubt it is a 1-year deal for a player who is a two-time second-team All-Pro. And, you know, the Packers made him not just the highest-paid corner in Green Bay Packers history, but the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history when they did that deal about 3 years ago. And he turned in a fantastic season in 2022. But then in 23 and in 24, it was difficult for him to be on the field. And it's one thing if you're hurt, it's another if you're injured. And where the Packers ultimately parted ways with Jaire Alexander, it was because they were never really sure on, let's say, Friday of a game week, whether they were going to have Jaire Alexander in the lineup 48 hours later. And so that just kind of continued over the course of the past 2 seasons. And then ultimately the two sides could not agree to a revised deal that would keep him in Green Bay. Obviously, Jaire Alexander deciding and determining that what was best for him was a clean break from Green Bay. That money didn't really matter, that he wanted to go obviously be in a position where he could show that he still has it, still in his 20s, plenty left to prove out there. And so here he is on a prove-it deal with a Super Bowl contending Baltimore Ravens team.
You saw that list of the top cornerbacks in the NFL according to Pete Prisco, and Marlon Humphrey is also on that list, also a member of the Baltimore Ravens. I think that puts Baltimore and Philadelphia as the only 2 teams with multiple corners in Pete's top 100 overall player rankings. How big of a need was this for Baltimore?
It was a big need because they lost Brandon Stevens to free agency. They knew that they couldn't keep him in free agency. A number of teams were in on him. The New York Jets wound up getting him as the outside corner. Of course, back in 2024, they drafted Nate Wiggins in the first round, so he's going to line up on one side, but they needed another outside corner. Marlon Humphrey's going to be the slot guy, as we know. They signed Chidobe Awuzie in free agency, but I don't know that they were ever certain that he was definitely going to be the week 1 guy for them. I think now, as long as Jaire Alexander is healthy, and I don't have any reason to believe that he will not be, or at least that is not the expectation, once you get to week 1, he should be, of course, the starting corner. And then you consider that they have Kyle Hamilton back there at sort of that do-everything safety position, certainly in line to become the highest-paid safety in NFL history at some point. This is a very fearsome defensive backfield. This is a Ravens team that, for the last couple of years, with the MVP, the perennial MVP candidate, Lamar Jackson, has been aggressive in free agency. You go back to a couple years ago when they signed Odell Beckham Jr. to that 1-year, $15 million deal. That was above market for Odell, but they wanted to keep Lamar Jackson happy, certainly, and they brought him in there when they needed to sign Lamar Jackson. They go out last year in free agency and get Derrick Henry, someone who was essentially born to be a Baltimore Raven. They finally got him in free agency. And then, of course, just, I think, a month or two ago, re-upped him and gave him a raise after that fantastic season that he had this past year. And now going after a Jaire Alexander. Not necessarily the money, right? This is not Jaire Alexander cashing in, but showing that they are going to be aggressive. Jaire Alexander, just released from Green Bay, had a number of suitors. I believe that this could have stretched into the summer for Alexander, and maybe if he wanted this to go to the highest bidder, he certainly could have waited and waited, but he wanted to be in Baltimore, one of the few teams that is still in minicamp. Most teams had it last week. The Ravens are one of less than a half dozen having it this week, and so everyone's still in the building. He can go chat with folks, feel good about his talks with GM Eric DeCosta. Obviously has Lamar Jackson's number. They've talked about this for some time, and so they get this deal done as Baltimore continues to look to get over that hump finally and get back to the Super Bowl.
And they are one of the favorites to do that this upcoming season, and got a little bit stronger today, assuming Jaire Alexander can stay a little bit more healthy than he has the past few seasons. That's Jonathan Jones with us as Alexander signs a one-year deal with the Ravens worth up to $6 million. They are the co-favorites with the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl going into this season, even shorter odds than the Kansas City Chiefs and the defending champion Eagles.